Hey, Ryan.
Hey, what's happening?
Not much. Well, we're recording the podcast. That's what's happening.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to do
hmm
it.
So this morning, I listened to my sound frequencies, which is something that I was doing for a really long time, and I kind of got off track. But I put them in this morning, and this is something that I think is like totally normal. But whenever I tell people that I listen to sound frequencies, they're like, "That's weird. What do you mean sound frequencies?"
Yeah, sound frequencies. Aren't all sounds frequencies?
I mean, yes, but these are specific sound frequencies. Like, uh, what are they? Solfeggio.
Solfeggio, I
Yeah.
think.
Ooh,
Solfeggio.
solfeggio.
I think that's
Yeah.
what. Yeah, you know what's crazy? I was used like a long time ago. You sent me your playlist of
Yeah.
frequencies, and I happened to be listening to it yesterday morning.
Get out. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, um, yeah. But yeah, it's like to you and I, normal everyday thing to do. Fire up some weird frequencies, listen to them, let
Yeah.
them resonate through our cells, and we're better for it. But to regular people or to your average Joe, you're right, that might sound weird.
Yeah.
And so I guess that brings us to the topic of today's episode on the No Excuses Coaching podcast, which is stuff that coaches do, and it's just normal for us that average people or maybe people who are not in the personal development or in the coaching industry oftentimes think is weird.
Yeah.
We we have a list.
We have a list. I
Yeah.
love
And
all of these actually.
the cool thing about going through this list is that like for those people that are listening, either you're going to get to validate your experience because the thing you're already doing is on the list, or you're going to get a new weird thing to try or multiple, right? So win-win. You can't lose, listeners.
Yeah.
This
A new
episode.
weird thing you can add to your weird things I do list.
Yeah. And
We're
pretend
starting off easy though. We're like easing into it.
this is the like weird things that coaches do that they pretend is totally normal to do.
Yeah,
Yeah. And valid argument to say these are normal things to do.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and what got us thinking about this is you brought up something that I forgot about, which was like this kind of trend a few years ago where it was like weird things like white people do.
Yeah,
I
there was
think
that book. There was that book. It was called like Things White People Do or Things White People Like or something like that.
yeah.
I don't
But then I
remember.
think it branched out to like all the other ethnicities as well, which was also hilarious.
I think, oh, hold on. I'm checking my database, which is what I call the internet. Uh, stuff white people like,
Yes,
dot
that's what it
com.
was.
And then there's a book, there's a website, and there's a book. So we're not getting into that,
No.
but
Well, I guess this is stuff coaches like.
stuff coaches like. Yeah, that's a good
Maybe that's the title.
for this episode. Stuff coaches like. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool. All right, let's
Maybe
get into it.
that's a book for our merch store.
Yeah, the stuff coaches like book. The subtitle for the book, Stuff White People Like, is The Definitive Guide to the Unique Taste of Millions. All right, that's kind of clever.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's get into our list. Number one on the list, and these are going to go from kind of least surprising to kind of more obscure, I think.
Yeah.
First couple, a lot of people do these,
I
right?
would say these are more mainstream now.
They're, yeah, of all the like stuff coaches like, this is like stuff that a lot of non-coaches and sort of entry level personal development people like too. The first two, and then right from number three forward, it's a little bit more niche.
Yeah.
So number one is your vision board. Having your vision board, ladies and gentlemen, that's always like the butt of the joke, right? That's like not only are people in the mainstream like doing vision boards, but it's like movies like talk about like, oh, my weird aunt. Well, I'll tell my weird aunt to put your goal on her vision board to make it come true. Like, there's a lot of I've heard vision boards being the punchline of a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, pretty normal everyday stuff for somebody who's really into personal development or coaching, because we understand, the connection between keeping something in your conscious awareness by having it in a, displayed in the space that you work or live in, and
Mhm.
that connection from that to actual results. So, hey.
Yeah. And I feel like the new thing is just having a photo on your home screen of your phone. That's kind of like the new vision board that I've been hearing about.
Oh, yeah, okay. Not
So
having
like say
your phone on your phone, but having like your vision board digitally on your phone.
yeah, like as the back screen. So like
Yeah.
say you want to go to Peru or something like that, and that's like a dream that you have, then you would have like a photo in the background of your, home screen. You'd have Peru there or something like that.
You know what's crazy is that my background on my phone is the planet Earth.
Ooh,
And wouldn't you know it? That's exactly where I live. It's come true. I didn't even realize that until now.
yeah.
Boom.
I don't even know what my background is at the moment. How do I even see that?
You just look at your phone with your eyes.
I can't see it. It's all blurred. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Oh. So your future is uncertain then. It is unclear. Okay, number next, we got a lot of these to get through. Number
Yeah.
two, gratitude journal. Gratitude journal. I've done that. You've done that.
Yeah.
Everyone who's listening to this has tried a gratitude journal at some point or another, I think. There's different kinds of journals. I like future pacing journals. Gratitude journals are good. I think there's actual scientific evidence that supports the idea that if you reflect on the things that are going right in your life, it actually changes, the way your mind functions to be
Mhm.
more positive, and you get more of the stuff that you like. So there's a lot of anecdotal evidence that this one works, and scientific evidence as well. But I mean, again, it's something that kind of might sound weird to somebody who's not in this world, right? Like before as soon as I get out of bed, before I start my day, I just sit down and write a list of all the things I like. You know,
Yeah.
might be weird.
A little weird. My
Yeah.
favorite thing to do with journals, because I'm a journaler, is I go back and I read them. I love it. Like sometimes I'll just like go through like randomly and pick a page and read it. And I'm like, oh wow, that's so interesting. It's like a little novel of your life.
Yeah, that's kind of cool to do sometimes. Cool. All right.
Another weird thing that I guess coaches do is read
Yeah.
their own journals.
Read your own journal. Refer back to your journal. I don't know. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now we're getting into and I will say that like a lot of the stuff on this list I've done, and a lot of the stuff on this list I have not done. But
Mhm.
I think all of the stuff on this list I would try if I haven't done it yet, or I would do. Okay, number three is moon rituals. Moon rituals, and this is something that I've not really done. I haven't really ever been to or partaken in a ritual that is specifically connected to the phase of the moon or anything to do with the moon. Have you?
Every month I do this. Yeah.
Every month you do this. Okay, so there you
Yeah.
go.
So every month I do well, I don't know. Does it happen every month? I don't know. But anytime there's a full moon, I do a full moon ritual, which includes like lighting candles, writing things that I want to let go of, and doing some type of a meditation. I always pull cards. So I love doing the moon rituals. And actually, the person that I follow to do the moon rituals is a guy named Chris Corsini, who I found during COVID. And he does like a pay what you can moon ritual every new moon and every full moon. And it's just a
Cool.
YouTube video. It's like 30 minutes and it's really
Cool.
cool. I love it. But I often do that. Sometimes I'll miss, but most often I will do that. And then on the new moon, that's when you set your intentions. So that's when you write down like what you're calling in. And actually, on October 26th, I'm hosting an event that is going to be kind of like a moon ritual, but we're going to be clearing out a lot of stuff that we're wanting to let go of that's been with us for the last 19 years because it's at the end of a 19-year cycle.
Yeah. Cool. All
Yeah, so
right.
I really really love the moon rituals.
Loving it. Serves her
Really into
well.
it.
There you go. By the way, if you audience are into moon rituals, send me a message and convince me to go to a moon ritual.
Mhm. Come to
I
my
might,
event, even though it's like kind of past your bedtime, but
yeah, yeah. 9 p.m. Is that when it is?
no, it's 8. I'll send you the recording just because
Yeah,
we're,
8.
podcast pals.
Yeah, definitely winding down around the 8 p.m. mark. Okay, cool. Okay, so moon rituals. I'm sure a lot of people in our audience are into moon rituals. No question about that. Number four. Number four. I've done a lot. Not as many as some people, but a lot of cold showers and ice baths. I've gone like months straight with exclusively cold showers. I've done ice baths here in Canada. I've done them while away on coaching programs. Yeah, this is good stuff.
Yeah,
right?
I love a good cold plunge.
Dopamine
Definitely.
regulation, and there's a ton of benefits, and more research coming out about the benefits of cold showers and ice baths. This is one that's, it's not mainstream, but it's getting out there more.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan talks about the benefits of ice baths, and Andrew Huberman, and there's Wim Hof now is kind of getting to the point where he's known and just in the public awareness.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this is like, again, to an average person, it's like, hey, you want to jump in a tub full of ice water and just sit there quietly for 3 minutes? That sounds weird probably to some people, but to a coach, it's like, oh yeah, all right, let's just do that.
Yeah, let's do it. Actually, I went on a VIP day with a coach, and we started our day doing a cold plunge.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
One hot tip for people who do the cold plunge sauna thing
cold plunge.
Yeah, if you're going to do, if you're getting ready for like a day of like inspiration or creative thinking, you want to end with the cold plunge. If you're wanting to like really chill for the day, or maybe you're like going to bed afterwards, then you end with the sauna or like a hot thing. You would end your cold bath or cold whatever with a hot thing.
Yeah, I think what you just said was slightly unclear to people who haven't been to one of these facilities. So Alana's describing a place where you can go where they have like multiple stations, and you can do like a cold dip, and then you could do like some kind of hot dip. It might be a hot tub or a sauna or something like that. And it's up to you what order you participated in these in. And so she's saying, if you want to be all hopped up on energy all day, finish off with the cold. If you want to be Rancho Relaxo for the rest of the day, finish off with the hot. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool.
Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah.
You bet. Scandinavian spas are like that, where it's like, there'll be a cold station, there'll be a hot station, and some of them have different variations. And then some of them will have like a rest station where it's just like a neutral temperature. You just like sit by a fire, and chill.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. There you go. We spent a lot of time on that one. We got 18 of these on the list. So.
I know. We got to move it.
Maybe this one will need to be like a 2-parter episode.
Oh.
Maybe we should do like half now and half next week.
Yeah, sure. That could be good.
I think we should do that. Because we got a lot, and these are kind of fun to.
Yeah, they're fun to talk about.
Okay.
Number
next. Do you want to read it out?
Floating. We've talked about this on the podcast before. So floating, which I have a gift certificate to a float tank near my place, and I have still not used it since we talked about this the last time on the podcast.
I also have a gift certificate to a float facility in Toronto that I have not used. I don't remember if it's the same one that you have your certificate for. It was a very thoughtful gift from somebody who attended one of my hypnosis trainings. So to that person, once again, thank you. Apologize for having not used it yet. But yeah, I was about to say a sleep deprivation tank. No, not a sleep deprivation tank. A sensory deprivation tank, which is like you float in this tank, and I believe it's usually like heavily salinated water, so that like you really float really easily. And there's no sound, no light, no odor, no anything to stimulate your senses, and you can just kind of go inward, and it could be a meditative experience, which hopefully is a relaxing experience. And again, this is like something that like might sound weird, to a regular Joe, but to a coach or a personal development nut, this just is like, oh yeah, let's just deprive our senses for an hour and see what the deep reaches of our unconscious mind present to us.
I know. And I'm wondering, why have I not done this? Like, it sounds so appealing. It sounds like something that I would love to do, but for whatever reason, I've just decided I don't want to do it.
Why?
Maybe we should do an episode where we both go to the float and then we like talk about our experience.
Yeah.
'Cause I've heard some pretty crazy experiences from people where they've like seen things and they've had visions. And
Yeah. I wonder if there's
my
one local
my
to me.
biggest fear about the float tank is that I'm going to get cold because I hate being cold in water. And I know that it's at body temperature, but I just can't imagine what that feels like. And so I just like don't want to do it because I don't want to be there cold for an hour.
I can't imagine that it's not like very temperature controlled. It must be like, because nobody would go back if you like were just floating in cold,
I know.
uncomfortable water for, you know.
So I guess it's like temperature controlled at your body temperature. And so I guess I'm just thinking of like, when you go into a bath and then it like the water temperature goes down and then you're like, ooh, I need to get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah. It
That's what
must be.
I'm thinking.
Okay. So there is one relatively proximate to where I'm hanging out these days, and it's $60 for a single float.
Yeah.
Or I can get a membership for a certain price per month. Huh, probably won't do that, but hey, cool. All right.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Deal?
Yeah. Let's see. And today is I'm just looking at their schedule. There's openings today. We could stop this recording and I could go right now,
Yeah.
but I won't. I won't do that. Not today. Anyways. All right, cool.
Number
Like it.
6.
Number next, guided meditations and hypnosis. So the general idea of meditation, pretty deep into the mainstream these days. But yeah, these guided meditations and particularly hypnosis meditations or hypnosis, that's a little more niche, obviously. Both of you and I are hypnotherapists, trained and certified hypnotherapists. So these may or may not be using audio recordings to enter deeper states of relaxation or to instill positive affirmations. I think
Yeah.
this is one that's like weird for an average person, very normal, run of the mill, everyday
Very
kind of
normal.
activity for a coach or a personal development nut.
Yeah. It's funny actually, because yesterday, or maybe it was on the weekend. Yeah. On the weekend, I got an email from a friend and she had recorded an Akashic Records journey. And she was just like, hey, I've recorded this for you. I finally was able to get into the records. Here you go. And it was totally like a normal thing. I was like, oh, thank you so much. That's so thoughtful of you for sending me this thing, this journey into the records. And so I did it and it was awesome.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, very normal. But if I just randomly sent that to someone who's not in that space, they'd be like, first of all, what is the Akashic Records? And
Yeah.
second of all, like, what do you want me to do? Listen to this?
Or they'd be like, you're looking in my records. They would think like you're invading their privacy and like you're down at City Hall, like looking at old files. Yeah, cool. All right.
Ooh,
Number
next
next.
one. I think I missed this one when I was like reviewing the list. What the heck is biohacking?
Biohacking. Well, luckily, for those that are unaware, we have a definition here. It's trying different techniques and technologies to improve one's physical and cognitive performance, such
Uh,
as diets, infrared saunas. I think also maybe like red light therapy would be like an example of biohacking. Oh, and the big one there is on the list. It's the nootropics, right? So like, different experimental or novel supplements that people take to improve performance or whatever. There's a lot of different things that would
yeah.
fall under the umbrella.
So maybe my Healy would fall under this,
It could, yeah, your
right?
Healy device, which pumps frequencies into you, not just through sound, but through
Every cell of your being.
every cell of your being. Yeah, so biohacking, this one's like super broad biohacking. Like, some
Yeah.
people like to define like, intermittent fasting as biohacking.
Mhm.
And they probably wouldn't be wrong. But yeah, I mean, like, here's the
I
thing: there's
guess those
all these
red
little
light things
red
too.
light
Is that an
therapy.
infrared sauna? The red light?
No, it's not the same thing. Although an
Okay.
infrared sauna may include red light. Like, there's specific, like, totally unrelated to a sauna. You can get like red light fixtures that shine a specific frequency or for specific tone of red light onto you,
Mm.
and it has some kind of benefit. Um,
Yeah, I've been
but
seeing
I
a lot
guess
of that lately.
you've been seeing a lot of that, or not a lot?
I have been. Yeah, a lot. Like
Yeah.
advertisements.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think the reason that this fits well on this list is because, like, you're a coach, you're a personal development person, just like anything that falls under the umbrella of biohacking, you're pretty much going to be open-minded to it, at least like hear what it's about, right?
Totally.
But to like an average person, it's like I give you this list, like, oh yeah, special diets, infrared saunas, nootropics. You into that? Like, half of those terms, people are going to be like, what? Special diets? Like, no, 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 no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Mushroom
Um,
coffees,
mushroom coffee,
right?
yeah,
That's another big thing.
that's a big thing. Lion's mane, get your lion's mane, get your turkey tail, all that stuff. By the way, both of those are non-psychedelic
Yes.
mushrooms for those that are listening. Cool. Number next. I think let's do, yeah, so let's do two
When are we
more.
halfway? Oh,
At
18. Okay.
the end of number 9,
Yeah.
we'll break and then we'll do the rest next week. I love this list, by the way. This is a good list.
I love it too. Actually,
Yeah.
and I was just reading this morning about how, like, if you want to create a life that you love living, you want to write out like a list of things that just bring you joy that you love to do. Right. And so, like, I would probably put many of these things on, but you want to check in with that list almost daily to see, like, am I doing these things? So
Yeah.
this is just like a good reminder. Just made me think of what I was reading. Like, I
Yeah.
should be doing these things more often. And if you're feeling kind of low, then ask yourself, oh, maybe I haven't been doing things that, make me happy
Yeah. Definitely.
or bring
Definitely.
me joy.
Cool. Okay. So
All right.
number 8. This one's cool.
Yeah.
I don't really do intentionally, but a lot of people do. Grounding or earthing is walking barefoot on the earth, grass, or sand, and it's believed to connect individuals with the earth's energy and provide health benefits. I believe different people have different beliefs on why grounding or earthing is beneficial that go beyond what's written in this particular definition. But this is something people do. It's something people like. I've heard people say, I just don't feel well or I just don't feel right until I've done my grounding. What are your thoughts? You do ground? Did you go outside barefoot this morning?
No, this isn't really something that I do regularly. However, um, like when I'm up at the cottage that I go to every summer, I love walking barefoot in the sand. Like that's just something that I love to do. And another thing that I love doing when I'm up there is if it rains, I will go out and walk just on the road with my bare feet. Because there's just something, I don't know, maybe it's the energy. I just love absorbing that energy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think also, in addition to this earthing grounding, it's just like getting out into nature. Like if you're feeling low or feeling sad, like how can you connect with nature, Mother Nature? And you don't necessarily, in my opinion, have to take your shoes off, but like go for a walk in a park with lots of trees or, sit on the grass or just be with Mother Nature. I think
Yeah.
that could also be considered grounding. And like it's also uplifting for the soul to recognize that you're part of something much bigger than just whatever you're worrying about in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. True. I've also heard people say that like taking a shower is grounding because you're connecting to the water and the water is
Oh,
connected to
yeah,
the
totally.
earth.
Or like
Um,
going swimming, right?
yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's a good one.
I think
Again,
sometimes, honestly, I'll just go stand on my front porch and just take a few deep breaths and just be like, if I'm feeling frazzled or frustrated or like overwhelmed,
yeah. Right.
right?
That's the
Like,
thing. Like in
I think
Alana's
that's
neighborhood,
grounding.
people know it's just every now and then you see, Ms. Banks just pop out onto the porch, point her palms up at the sky, take deep breaths, maybe scream loudly, and then just go right back in the house. And
Totally
that's it.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Number next, which is number 9, which will be our last one for this episode, and we'll do the remainder of this list. And by the way, the list gets kind of even more interesting in the second half. The first half is kind of like tame. The second half, we start to get into some interesting things. Number 9, silent retreats. This is something that I have considered doing, have never done. I don't know if I will. Silent retreats are spending several days or even weeks without speaking or communicating, often in a secluded location, with the intent of deepening self-awareness and mindfulness, or whatever other benefit that is associated. This is interesting. And like these are hosted here in Canada. You can go and do like a 10-day silent meditation retreat, and it's silent. Like there is no talking, there's no communication. You're not allowed to have a smartphone or a computer or anything. It's just like quiet contemplation.
Yeah. I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to do that.
I don't like I'm usually open for anything, try anything, as long as, if it's personal development or, personal betterment related. But I don't know. I wouldn't even want to just like sit in a room alone quietly for an hour, which is something we've talked about before, let alone like several days. I don't know. I think I would just be like painfully bored.
Yeah, but I feel like you would, I feel like you would like reach this breaking point. Like, yes, I agree. I think I would be so bored too, but I think I would get to this point where I just am elated, or I think you would get a lot of downloads. I wonder if on these retreats, if you're allowed to journal, you must be able to.
It probably depends on the retreat. Maybe some you can and some you can't.
I think it would be weird if you're with people and you're all being silent and you can't communicate. I think that would be a challenge for me.
Especially if like you're just looking at each other and like making eye contact.
Yeah.
And you have like 16 awake hours per day. There's no talking. Silent retreats. Okay, so there's number 9. If you've been on a silent retreat and it was marvelous, let us know. If you've been on a silent retreat and like it was awful and you hated it, let us know about that.
Yeah, cool list. I'm excited for next week.
I'm excited for the second half next week.
Maybe we'll add a bonus too. I feel like over the next week, I'm going to think of something to add.
Oh yeah, of like there's probably like we have 18. Amongst the half 1 and half 2 of the list, there's probably 1,000 like weird things that coaches love that regular people just wouldn't get. Yeah.
What do regular people do? I'm wondering.
They watch TV. Nothing against regular people, by the way. I love regular people. I just mean like when I say regular people, this is my loving way of saying like people who are not super into the personal development and coaching world, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't been a regular person for a long time, so I don't even know what they do.
Yeah. Okay.
Like going to the gym is not on this list because that's something that like even
everybody
for a
does.
person, even if they don't do it, they get it. Like then like, it's not this foreign thing, right? Yeah. Yeah, cool. All right. So let's get for part 1. Make sure you all tune in for part 2, the stunning conclusion.
Yeah.
Join the Simple Social Sanctuary, ryanmontes.com. Join Alana's Ascension Circle.
Yes.
And anything else to add, Alana Banks?
Well, if you're into moon rituals, also sign up for my Metonic lunar eclipse event on October 26th. You can find info about it in my Instagram at Alana Banks Coaching.
Yes. Cool. Love it. All right. That's it for this one.
All right. Bye.
Bye.